Zoe, the turkey was delicious. I really like the way you used nuts to coat the turkey. Now, what I'm going to do is use some nuts, some almond meal to make the base of a cake. Now, this is a Portuguese-style cake, so what I'm going to do is put a pot on, and I'm going to add a little bit of water, probably about a quarter of a cup of water.
Okay.
Now, to that, I'm going to add some butter, and I've got 300 grams of unsalted butter. Go straight into the pot there. We want it to melt down nicely.
That's a lot of butter.
Now, normally with this cake, the Portuguese would use pork lard, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to make it a little bit more extravagant. I'm going to use some goose fat, and about a tablespoon of that. You could use more if you wanted to, but you know, about a tablespoon and a half is probably perfect.
Now, I know everyone's talking about fat being good for you, which I agree, but it's all about portions, everybody. So these fats are good, stable, butter, great, but I don't know if it's in that quantity, Adrian.
There you go, using that word again, portions. I've got no idea what it means, you know, but to this I'm going to add about 500 grams of sugar, just to make it a right sort of nice and sweet, just what we want. Now, what we're going to do, Zoe, is put this on the stove here. I've got a nice gentle heat underneath it. I'm going to bring it to the boil so the sugar dissolves, the goose fat and the butter meld together to create a beautiful sort of flavour, a sweet flavour. That'll take about 3-4 minutes, and then we'll get the rest of the cake together. Zoe, look at that bubbling goodness sitting there. It's all come together nicely. Now, normally with this sort of cake, I would put the almond meal there and stir it around and cook the almond meal out a little bit, but I'm not going to. I'm going to do a quick version. I've got 400 grams of almond meal here. I might get you to cut the top of this with scissors.
See, a woman, practical.
Every time I open a bag like this, I end up with almond meal all over the place. So what I'm going to do is open these two. In goes the almond meal into the bowl there. You can get rid of these.
Yep.
Now, what I'm going to do is add a pinch of cinnamon, you know, a little bit of spice in there, maybe a pinch and a half.
That's nice.
I've got some sultanas here, and I'll put that, about a cup of sultanas in here. Now, I bet you little Emily will be sitting down with those little packets of sultanas, eating those things, and they're gorgeous, aren't they? I used to have them when I was a kid. And I've got some currants as well. I love the little black currants in there. There we go. About a cup as well in there.
This is nice. This has got that sort of very I mean, Christmassy feel almost to it.
Almost. And what I've got is some almond essence here. To give it a bit more almond flavour, I'll put about a tablespoon in there. A good little splish of that.
That is strong.
It's got that real smell of marzipan, isn't it?
Marzipan. I hate marzipan. Sorry, Adrian.
Oh, no! But I reckon by the time you've eaten this, you'll love it. Now, Zoe, I've got a lemon there. I want you to zest that in there. And what I'll do is I'll make a well in the centre.
The whole lemon?
The whole lemon or half a lemon, however quick you can do it. By the time I get this pot over to here...
I want to be quick because that looks hot.
3, 2, 1. It is really hot, so be really careful. Kids, if you're doing this at home, make sure you got mum and dad to help you. Yeah. I'm going to pour this into the centre here like this, and look at that.
Wow.
Foaming up beautifully. And what I'm going to do is being really, really careful with the spoon. I'm just going to do this very gently because we don't want to splash this onto us and burn us at all. We want to enjoy the cake and feel happy about eating it.
And Adrian, do you know that this is gluten-free?
It is. There we go. It's a gluten-free cake, but...
See, Adrian's now ticking some of the health boxes. Tick, tick. I don't know if I'd call this healthy, but...
Not even I would go that far, Zoe, with all the sugar in here and the butter. Now, what I've got there is I've got some egg yolks that are already cracked. What I want you to do is pour them in here, because this will help to set it. There's 6 egg yolks straight in here, and I've also got 2 whole eggs. I want you to crack them open, and we'll mix these in as well. It's a great-looking cake. It's got a great smell to it. And, of course, we're using free-range eggs, Zoe. That's what we like to...
And it's got a beautiful, glossy yellow colour to it, so the eggs will only intensify that as well.
And this will come together beautifully. But I reckon just with a wooden spoon is all you need to mix that around. Now, 1 or 2 more turns, and I reckon we'll just about have this done.
And because of the natural oils in the almond meal, it doesn't sort of like, you know, it folds in a lot easier than a normal flour would, and it's not as fine as well.
Beautiful. It's got a lovely sheen to it as well. Now, what I'm going to do is pour this in. If I get you to hold the bowl there, I've got a spatula here. There we go. I've got a spatula, and I always use a spatula because it makes sure you get everything off the spoon and out of the bowl, because you want it in the cake. In it goes like that. Have a little taste of that.
I taste that.
Oh, Zoe, delicious. Now, this is going to go into the oven. I've put baking paper on the bottom of the cake tin, and I've greased the outside of it. I'm going to put it in the oven. It'll take about 35 minutes to 45 minutes. You'll know when it's cooked because it'll be nice and solid in the centre. At 165 degrees Celsius, nice and slow. You get a nice brown cover on top of it. It'll be a delicious cake. Zoe, have a look at that. You can smell the almond in there. It's fantastic, isn't it?
You can also smell the sugar in there.
It is. It's nice and sugary. Now, what I'm going to do is put a little bit of icing sugar on top, just to make it look nice and white on top, nice and fluffy. Look at that. It's like snow coming down. You need icing sugar on top of a cake, don't you? You do.
I will say nothing.
There we go. So I should have let it cool down for a little bit longer, but we're going to get straight into it. I'm just going to cut it all the way through the middle here with a serrated knife. You can see, you can smell that, can't you?
You really can. I can smell that cinnamon. I can definitely smell the sort of the almond marzipan.
Oh, look at that.
Interesting.
I'll put my knife under there. Look at that.
Oh,
nice
wow.
and moist.
What that is, isn't it?
Fantastic. I'm going to put some cream on there as well. Look at that. A little bit of whipped cream. You could use clotted cream or ice cream if you want.
Definitely doesn't know limitation. Never heard that word.
And because it's a nut episode, I'm going to put some pistachio nuts on there as well to make it nice and green. Zoe, tuck into that. Tell me what you think of this cake.
All right, let me see.
It's going to be sweet.
I mean, it's incredibly sweet. Definitely, definitely. But it's beautiful. I love the currants and I love the sultanas in it. For me, I love a cake that has those sort of fruits in it. I just wanted a slightly less sweet, but the thing I love about it the most is how moist it is. It's just beautiful.
It's nice how you can use nuts for sweet and savoury and get a delicious result.